Hello, beautiful friends. How are you? How the heck are you? I just felt like getting on here and sharing some love, sharing some encouragement, sharing some raw energy of just how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And yeah, hopefully it's helpful, whatever y'all may be feeling. I've just been getting rocked. I don't know how it is for you guys, but here in the Midwest, it is such a heat wave, and I am chilling in the no AC. And I love the heat, I don't mind, but it's just it's hilarious because this raging heat has also been reflecting a raging heat within myself. And I just kind of want to talk about it. I think it's so important to um, share these like intense points, these alchemical points of transformation, because it's really the God honest truth of what we're all going through, in one way or another. We're really all in the same boat. Um, so, yeah, I just want to, first of all, share that because just to help anyone that may be going through that, because it always comes like in these waves, it seems like. And it's interesting how, like, I've been going through, all of this, like, I just feel like I'm in a pressure cooker these past few days. I mean, I feel so much pressure, but I always remember, pressure is what creates diamonds, and that's so true. I can feel that, I know that is the process of alchemy. So I'm grateful and I'm staying faithful and humble. And, but gosh, it's like, this is like guttural. For me personally, this is like guttural. Like just such raw pain, and oh my god, it hurts. I feel like I'm burning alive and being stabbed by a million needles. Not so much now, but there was a point where I was feeling that. And so I just want to talk about it, and I guess the way that I deal with that, there's lots of different things. And I was going to mention that, like, I noticed there's like quite a few people in my life that, are also going through like very intense circumstances and feelings. So if you're feeling that, you are not alone, beautiful one, beautiful brother, beautiful sister. You are so not alone. We are out here transforming, and we're on the cutting edge. Some of this stuff is so deep. It's like, this is like, for me, I mean, it just feels primal. It's very unique. And that's kind of one of the ways I don't even want to say deal with it, because to me it's not bad. It's not good or bad. It's just an experience that I get to have, and it's just energy that ultimately fuels me in my highest potential, right? So, one of the ways I navigate it or move with it or groove with it is I just try to kind of get curious about it, and I guess, be almost like a mad scientist of sorts. And I just get really curious about, like, what am I feeling? Because I'm not repressing anything, at least as far as I consciously can help it. I'm not repressing anything. I'm just done trying to escape anything that I feel, anything that comes up. I don't try to get out of it. I just try to really let it do whatever I need to. Let me see whatever I need to see. Let me feel whatever I need to feel. Just let it be transformed within me. You know what I mean? And there's all kinds of different things that happen, and it seems like each of us have our own unique process. And even for us individually, for myself, it's like each each transformation is so unique, you know but I just get curious about it, and I try not to get too caught up in thoughts and stories around it. I definitely don't go looking for stories anymore. I don't get too caught up on the meaning of things in my mind, because to me it doesn't really matter. If there's anything that I need to know or see, I know that it's going to come to me. I don't need to wonder, like, oh my gosh, is this something connected to my childhood? Is this something connected to a past life? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, I guess what I'm saying is I just really trust the natural flow of things. And if, like, there needs to be a memory or something that needs to be seen, it comes up. It all naturally kind of comes up. And I know my energy is probably really fiery right now. It's just really raw, and I'm just being really honest. Um, so, not trying to be like freaky or anything, but it's just how it goes. Um, but yeah, I just kind of get curious about it. And I'm like, how do, what is this? Like, what is this feeling? Um, what does it feel like in my body? What kind of filter does it put on my mind? And to be quite honest with you, a lot of the things I've been feeling are very deep feelings of desperation and despair. And then I kind of like moved through that, and underneath it was like a really deep rage, which is very uncomfortable. If you've ever felt rage, it's very uncomfortable. It's kind of especially uncomfortable for me because I really don't feel rage a lot. So when I do, it's like I just feel like I'm burning like the fire of 1,000 suns, and I don't even know what to do with this energy. And so again, I just really feel it. I feel it, and it feels like I'm being burned, and it feels like I'm getting like poked by needles or something. It's very uncomfortable, but that's my courageous, in my opinion, courageous duty is to just feel it. I'm not going to shy away from it. I need to feel it if it's coming up. Not dwell in it, but feel it and honor it. So I feel it, and it's just so intense. um, but and not only that, but also like I also had some crazy physical symptoms. Like right before kind of like this emotional energy, I had this like huge physical purging. I had this stomach flu, and it's all just not a coincidence. In my mind, it's all like connected to like this huge release of energy that I am feeling, and probably you might be feeling, and a lot of people are feeling. And if you're not feeling it, it's okay too. We all have our own unique process. But so I've just been releasing some really deep stuff. And again, it really sucks. I'm not going to lie to you and say that, it's comfortable by any means, but I do hold the firmness and the focus of what it really is. And sometimes I don't know what it is. My friend Bianca sent me this quote. I'm not going to be able to remember what it is, but it's something about how when you're I wish I could remember it because it's really good. I'll post it below. But it's something about when you're exploring, a new territory, there's a point in time where you're not going to see the shore. And that's kind of how it feels like in those moments. It's like and it's funny because full disclosure, I'm actually creating this course or this class, really just for myself. I've been like just like receiving all of this information and commenting on all this information, and I've just really needed an outlet to put it all into, to have this. It's just been part of my experience, and it is something that I really want to share with people who are interested as well, and have this amazing experience about just this journey of remembering our limitlessness and pushing past these limitations, and all these limits that, we have honestly created for ourselves. And that's kind of a really hard pill to swallow. But anyways, so it's all kind of connected to that. And I've just been experienced. So I feel like, in tandem with that myself, I've been experiencing myself being just pushed to the limit, speaking of limitations, just pushed to the absolute limit. And I can't even tell you why. It's not even any circumstances per se in my life. I could attribute it to some circumstances or to some stories or reasons of what's contributing to this. But honestly, it's really just feels like a fire that's like burning within me. And I don't know why I lost my train of thought there. And if you hear that weird sound, it's just the dog. He's been helping me through this process. So it's been an amazing time. That's what I was saying, is I don't lose focus on the process of the experience, of the journey, of the fact that, there seems to be this pattern of a lot of times when you're expanding, aka pushing beyond your limits, those limitations become very freaking loud and clear, kind of at the precipice of it. You really start to see them. And it seems like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, someone who is relentlessly seeking freedom in my life, in my mind, in my heart, in my body, in my soul, I'm always expanding into this greater freedom, because I know in my heart what is true for us and what is true. And that's the thing about freedom. That's the thing about freedom, is freedom it's intense. It's an intense journey towards freedom, because you're having to push past, again, all of these limitations, mainly in your own mind. A lot of the stuff we think is the matrix, it's really in our own mind. And that's a whole other topic. That's a lot to do with the course I'm creating and the things I've been learning and the things that have been all culminating. And, I'm kind of just right now behind the scenes, like really practicing and, working with all of these energetic things to understand the process more, for myself, and, so that hopefully it's helpful to other beings who are also seeking freedom, seeking more expansion and abundance in this life, seeking the truth beyond the cave that we're in, like Plato's cave, because that's really a big thing that's been like coming to me. It's just the way that I'm going to share something really powerful here. And it might be triggering, and that's been one of my fears, to be quite honest with all of you, is some of this stuff it's very triggering to the ego. And I never, it's not that I'm necessarily afraid of triggering people, but I don't want to be like insensitive to the pain that people are in, because I, at least to some extent, understand, the pain that is out there. And it really does break my heart, and that's kind of part of what this alchemy is that we're all going through, that I've come to understand, is that a lot of this stuff, it's like it's breaking our hearts open. That's kind of what it feels like to me, at least, is it's breaking our hearts open so that our hearts can be open, in a way that is actually more aligned, I guess, with us. Because when you go to these points and these really uncomfortable feelings, that we've been perhaps avoiding in our lives, that come up now when we're ready to face them, a lot of the reasons we've been avoiding them is because they feel like death, and in a way it is an ego death, though. So in a way that's correct. But when you have the courage to feel them anyways, and to push past those limits, push past those barriers of who you think you are and what you think you're capable of. And life is kind of all but pushing us into this anyways, So I'm not really doing it. I'm just, doing my best not to resist what's naturally unfolding at this point. It kind of breaks you open in a way that gives you the courage to be all in life again, be all in life even more, because you start to realize with each experience like this, like, wow, I'm actually a pretty powerful, strong freaking being, and I can handle this, and it just kind of keeps expanding you and helping you to remember who you really are. And more what people call this ascension, it really just, I feel more like, it's more like a returning home. It's a returning home to who we are, because who we really are is already limitless. We were incarnated into these limitations, and we're on this journey back into limitlessness. And when you look at the mind control matrix that has been going on here, it's such a bizarre situation. And I am, really just trying to stay humble and not act like I fully understand why it came about, why we're in this situation, how it came about. Like, all of these things are interesting, but my real concern is, I think a good analogy is like, okay, I'm just trying to understand that 2 + 2 is 4. I don't need to necessarily right now understand, well, what's 2 mean? Like, why is 2 2? Like, where did 2 come from? And not that there's anything wrong with that, but again, like, that's just not the rabbit hole. I'm just trying to understand the freedom piece, and where how do we find our freedom in this? I remember what I was going to say. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. But this is something I want to share with you guys, because I really want to offer you this. And this is something I'm still processing, that I heard recently, is that I just feel like this is going to trigger people, and I'm sorry. And I'm not saying that this is what you need to think or believe. It's just I'm offering you something to think about. No one has ever lied to you. There's no way anyone has ever lied to you. It's just that you accepted their stories as truth. That's a really interesting thing to think about. And it's kind of in line with a lot of the things that, I've been going through and processing. And, it's worth saying that, you don't need to beat yourself up because of the lies that you maybe have accepted about yourself, about what's wrong with you, about what's wrong with others, about all of this bullshit. We all know. I mean, if you're here, you know what I'm talking about to some extent. All of the bullshit that we've been told about this reality, that all it really does is it keeps us in boxes. It keeps us in these limitations. It keeps us in these. The vision I had, and this honestly broke my heart, is it's like the mind control that we've been in for whatever reason. We have our theories. I have understandings of it, but, again, it's really not as important as the fact that it is what it is now and, how we free ourselves from it. But it's like those Oculuses or whatever they're called, those virtual reality goggles that people wear. The vision I had is that the mind control that we've been in it's like we're all like been wearing that, walking around this infinite, beautiful like realm that's always trying to help us. This is like the organic reality. This is just my vision. Not, again, just take it how it resonates. But it's like it's like this beautiful, benevolent, organic realm that we're walking in, that we were designed to thrive in naturally. But we have these simulation goggles on, aka the mind control, matrix mind control that we were born into. And that's what's creating our reality, and that's what's creating like all of this bullshit that we've been kind of creating. And the last thing I'll say on this, I don't think I have a whole lot of space on my laptop, so I'm going to keep this somewhat brief for now. But that's sort of the core of what I've been discovering. And this is a deep one, is that the ticket to our freedom is, first of all, radical responsibility. I mean, I'm talking radical responsibility for what we're believing. And that's kind of why I said that, earlier, is like, did someone lie to you, or did you just choose to accept their story? And this is how we get into this weird web of deception. And you can say it's wrong or it's right, but at the same time, it's just, it kind of is what it is, And you can even go and see how, like, people or beings or entities who have manipulated us into this mind control web, that is probably their take on it. That's their take on it, and that's their loophole on it. Is like, well, I told them these stories and they believed it, so it's on them, that they're creating hell realms for themselves at their expense, and at, for them it's for their benefit, or so they seem, so they think, but really, it's not. The core responsibility to start to chew on is, if that's true, and I understand wanting to be a victim, and I understand that that's a part of the process, and that I understand that was a horrible trick. That's a horrible trick to play on anyone. I would never deny that, and you can have that process of, I was lied to, I was a victim, I'm a victim, but at the end of the day, if you're really trying to be free, and you're really trying to free yourself, and you really want to know the truth, all of that victim mentality, again, have your process, and it hurts. Trust me, I know. That's part of what I'm purging right now, is my own victim mentality bullshit. All of that, though, but if you want to be free, you really have to understand that all of that is bullshit. And you gotta let that go, and you gotta take radical responsibility for what you are believing in about yourself and about your world, and stop lying to yourself, because that's really what it is that someone, whether it was society, the government, your parents, or whatever, for whatever reason, whether their intention was to con you or not, if you and you probably didn't even know because you were probably a child because we were born into this world, so it's really not your fault. But anything that you chose to accept as your truth, that you chose to believe in, anything that you believe in that's wrong with you, that's wrong with God, that God has abandoned you, that you're not worthy, that you're not lovable, that you're not capable, or whatever it is. You know, if this is true and you want to be free, you know what that means. That means radical responsibility for everything in your life. But that's a hard pill to swallow, I know. But I'm going on this path. If you choose this path, I'm going on it with you. You are not alone, and there's many who are choosing this path. It's not the easy one, but it's, you know, this is how we remember who we are. If you do choose to take radical responsibility for everything going on in your life and stop playing a victim to any of it, you will start to know amazing freedom. That's the ticket to the freedom. So I'm going to leave on that for now. I think that was well enough for now. Thank you guys so much. So much love to all of you. I am just sending you so much love and grace. Thank you for being with me, you know, in this infernerator. That's what I feel like I'm in right now, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It's all just, I'm being cooked, but I know it's the fires of transformation. It's the pressure that builds diamonds, you know. So if you're feeling it, I'm right there with you. We got this. We're doing it. It's all happening for our highest good. Just let it unfold. Let yourself receive God. You know, let yourself receive God. And if you're interested in this stuff, this is what the course I'm creating, and a lot of the stuff that I'm creating right now, this is what this is all about. You know, this is really what this is all about. It's about remembering how to free ourselves, remembering how to expand past these mental blinders and limitations that we've all been doing to ourselves. It's such a hard pill to swallow. I feel you, I know, but if you want to be free, that's, I guess, the price of freedom, is that expansion. It's that uncertainty. It's that pushing past the barriers of what you believe. You know? I guess that's part of what they say when they say freedom isn't free. And I'm not saying that's true or not. I'm just saying I'm moving towards freedom. And it is simple. It's a simple thing. You know, it's actually very simple. And it doesn't have to be this super challenging thing. But I just think, you know, there are these points, though, in our journey where we are so transformed by the truth, by seeing the truth, sometimes very hard truths. You know, it causes these deep guttural reactions, and I'm just here to remind you it's okay. We are free. We're already free. We're freeing ourselves. You are already perfect, whole, and complete as you are now. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to share this stuff with you guys. Let's see, is there anything else? Just so much love to you all. Yeah, God bless. Take care.